Working with Maggie Hyland, the creator of our stained glass window, was a wonderful creative collaboration. And then it came time for the installation. This stalled 2 long years because we wanted to add 2 more stained glass windows to the living room and do the construction all at once. In the end, because of costs, we scrapped the grand design and decided to go forward just with our first beloved glass. We found a contractor who came highly recommended and put him in contact with Hyland Studios to fully coordinate the project. It was with some trepidation that we prepared for the demolition. The project was to be completed in 3 days. Blast a hole in the wall, allow the stained glass people to do their thing, and do the fine plastering and finish after. We moved out of the master bedroom, sealed everything off, and mentally prepared to be living in chaos for 2 or 3 weeks, not a few days. We conceded there would be a lot of dust preceding the final installation. The project turned out to be a comedy of errors. The contractor did not understand that he was supposed to provide a window sash, that obvious and necessary component to hold the window in place. And because of an issue of wording in the drawings, the contractor chopped an opening into the wall that was several inches too small. Our mistake, apparently, was leaving such construction matters to the experts. What was supposed to be 3 days turned into nearly 3 months, during which much of the house was sealed off with plastic and zippers, like a radioactive site. We had to do the contractor's own work and find a carpenter to make the window sash. Amazingly, the many carpenters we talked to on the phone similarly responded. This is complicated and it's going to be very expensive. All just to produce a 42-inch diameter wooden frame. The windowsill blooper extended everything for weeks. And then we went on an Arctic 16-day cruise in the middle of it and escaped our house. We hired a new contractor when we returned. The new guy spooked us by telling us that the previous contractor should have tested for asbestos and lead, which had been blowing around during the original demolition of the hole. The solution was to seal everything with even more plastic and put zippers on the plastic coverings over all the doors. One day, Jeffrey went upstairs to find the workers plastering the opening. Aren't you supposed to be cutting away a few inches from the wall before you plaster it? The whole point of the additional plastic was the need for additional demolition. So a half-day's worth of work had to be undone. When the window sash was delivered on Halloween, we were thrilled. It was not a work of art, but for all intents and purposes, this neat circular sash made of paint-grade wood was a feat to accomplish. With that done, the next step was finding someone capable of handling the stained glass, not a run-of-the-mill glazier. More calls and emails led us to a stained glass installer. When he arrived to check out the window sash, he measured across the diameter and said it was 41 3/4 inches, which was exactly the size of the stained glass window. That would not allow for any irregularities, space for adhesive, or the expansion of the wood during the hot months. In short, the window sash opening was too small, just like the original hole in the wall. We were in desperate need of just right. When we called the carpenter to explain he had not made the opening 42 inches as indicated in our drawings and his own, there were long pauses during which he said nothing, and we had to repeat ourselves. Finally, we got him to come and make the sash bigger. The sash had already been painted, and the house had been stripped plastic and totally cleaned up. For him to sand the sash down, we had to put more plastic up to cover the furniture and seal the rooms off again. This started to feel very allegorical. We were in the bowels of hell in that particular ring where Sisyphus rolls a boulder up a hill only to have it drop down and roll it again. When the carpenter left, the sash had major gashes in the paint. Luckily, the stop would cover that. Then the paint around the plaster around the window started to crack and chip because the paint had been applied before the plaster was sufficiently cured. The installation of a single window was turning into the myth of Sisyphus. All the while, the beautiful creation, the window itself, sat leaning sadly against a wall in its wooden crate. What would appear a straightforward task Cutting a round hole in sheetrock capable of supporting a window had now involved a cast of 12 workers. We were not launching the James Webb Space Telescope. In fact, during this time, the Europa Clipper took off to visit one of Jupiter's moons. No hitch with that, but try installing a window. When the stained glass artisans Tim and Kirby arrived on Saturday morning, we were steeling ourselves for another disaster, though none followed. Robert slept in that morning while Jeffrey helped get them situated. There are no better words than Dante's to describe the relief that this creative endeavor finally came to an end. The disbelief that the window was installed for us to enjoy every day, the joy over the beauty of it, and the wonder that Robert had conceived and designed such a piece of art, and that Maggie, the window's creator, had made it come alive. Dante crawls out of a hole in the bowels of hell and emerges into a world of possibility. Into that hidden passage my guide and I entered, to find again the world of light. And, without thinking of a moment rest, we climbed up, he first and I behind him, far enough to see, through a round opening, a few of those fair things the heavens bear. Then we came forth to see again the stars.
Oh my word! Wow! That is our real rose window. Whoa, it's incredible. Ah, look at that. Wow.
Illumizone transforms your space through craftsmanship, color, and lighting. We started in men's fashion, opening 2 boutiques, both critically acclaimed for their interior design. We were recognized twice by Gin Arts for the best menswear. Celebrated in the New York Times, Details, and Vogue, Ocean Drive magazine nominated our Miami boutique for best store design. Since then, our mission has been to cast away the darkness of conformity and mass production. Illumizone landscape design can add new dimensions to your garden, layering color, fragrance, and perspective. No plot of land is too small or humble to be transformed into a piece of paradise.